You're with your baby, and you're parked alone on a summer night. You're deep in love, but you're deeper in the woods. You think you're doing alright. Did you hear that voice? Did you see that face? Or was it just a dream? This can't be real, that only happens, babe, on the movie screen. Oh, but he's back. He's the man behind the mask, and he's out of control. He's back. The man behind the mask, and he crawled out of his hole. You're swimming with your girl out on Lover's Lake, and the wind blows cold. It chills your bones, but you're still on the make. That's a bad mistake. Ah, but the moon was full, and you had a chance to be all alone. But you're not alone. This is your last dance and your last romance. Yeah, 'cause he's back. He's the man behind the mask, and he's out of control. He's back. The man behind the mask, and he crawled out of his hole.
Hey gals and guys, this is Michael of Cinema to Meep. Welcome to episode 5 of the Retro Movie Love podcast. Thanks for joining us again, and if you're new to the show, welcome. We've had a lot of fun recording so far, and I think you guys will enjoy what's on the menu today. Actually, on the menu today is some bloody delights. Hope you're in the mood for that. We're continuing our soundtrack theme that I did on the last podcast, and today we're going to have songs from horror movies. And I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of horror movies, always have been. I got exposed to them at a pretty young age. Might shock some of you out there who are not so much into horror films, but I'm completely normal, I swear. We're not. There's a lot of good songs from horror films, and I think that shouldn't go unnoticed. I think there should be attention paid to these songs that are in these horror films, and I hope you will enjoy some of them that I have on the playlist today. Now, we played on the top of the podcast a song I like a lot from Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. That was Alice Cooper's He's Back, the man behind the mask. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Friday the 13th films. I'm not sure what your take is on slasher films in general, but I find them, a lot of them are kind of frivolous, but so much fun. And the Friday the 13th series are kind of comfort food of the slasher film. I go back to them over and over and over again. And Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, was kind of a return of Jason at Part 5. As some of you already know, didn't really have a Jason in it proper. So 6 was kind of a big deal when it came out. It was like the return of Jason. And for us horror fans, even at a tender age of 11 when this came out in 1986, I was really excited to go see it. And it was like one of the most memorable movie-going experiences of my life so far. I've had quite a few movie-going experiences. Seen so many movies, especially in the theater, and this one just sticks out in my mind because it was the timing, my age. I just am impressionable, and the movie's just a lot of fun. It's kind of a mix of gothic and comedy, and so there's like a silliness and a darkness to the film, and it kind of has a weird, interesting balance that I like a lot. And I think Alice Cooper's song "He's Back" perfectly adds to the film, and it plays at the end credits. Came off of his Constrictor album from 1986, but clearly it was made for the film. And it's just this great song and so much fun to listen to. And Alice Cooper perfectly nails what, that the feeling you get from a horror movie, a slasher movie, and I kind of wanted to start off the podcast that way. I just wanted to a song that's kind of knowingly about horror movies, and I don't know if it's like you want to call it postmodern or not, but the film itself is kind of like a postmodern slasher movie before like the popularity of Scream and all those kinds of films. It's part satire, it's part straight up slasher movie, and it divides maybe some of the fans of the Friday the 13th films, and I can totally understand that. But I'm a big fan, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy the song so much. Kind of wanted to share that with you, and hope you enjoy it. So let's move on to track number 2. And that was Love Me Till I Die from the Prom Night soundtrack from 1980. That soundtrack was composed by Carl Zitcher and Paul Zaza. Hopefully I'm not butchering your names too much, guys. I love this movie. I don't know how you guys feel about Prom Night. There's a Blu-ray coming out this year from Synapse, and when I heard the news of them working on, or finding the elements from the film and then working on a Blu-ray, and that it's going to potentially look amazing and mind-blowingly good, I was so happy. It totally made my day, my week, my month probably. Kind of sad, but it's true. Prom Night is one of my absolute favorite horror movies from my youth. up until now, I absolutely love this movie. Now, it's not the most exciting nonstop movie from the horror genre, slasher genre in particular. It has its lulls, it has its slow moments, but I'm so in love with this movie that no criticism will ever touch how I feel about this movie. It's perfect for me in every way. It's Jamie Lee Curtis, disco dancing, people's heads getting chopped off, and Leslie Nielsen, and this is so many elements. I can go into it for hours, and I probably will have a podcast that will be devoted to slasher movies, of course, and I will definitely pick Prom Night because I absolutely am bonkers over this movie, and I'm absolutely bonkers over the soundtrack. I can't tell you enough how much I love the soundtrack. Wall-to-wall disco tunes that make me want to dance, and I wish I could have been Jamie Lee Curtis's dance partner in her dance scenes. Actually, the actor who played that role wasn't the best dancer. I know he's since passed on, and rest in peace. I feel bad about that, but she really carried that dance scene in so many ways, and she's amazing to watch, and I wish I could have been there disco dancing with her. Hopefully not losing my head on the dance floor in the process. Absolutely love this movie, and Love Me Till I Die is a great track. I love disco music. I know it's not, it's disco's dead, and it's not for everybody. It comes and goes in waves of popularity. But I grew up. I was born in 1975. I grew up in the 80s, and disco still had a part of my life and part of my childhood, and Prom Night was right there along with it. I watched this movie a lot, especially with my younger sister. We just bonded over this movie, and which is ironic since it's a movie about a brother and a sister who go through a traumatic experience, and so it works on so many levels for me, and the songs are so connected to me that I have absolute love for it, infinite love for Prom Night and its soundtrack. And I Love Me Till I Die sticks out. I love all the songs, don't get me wrong, but it kind of sticks out for me. I love the tune and the harmonies, and it will always live forever in my heart. Prom Night, I love you. Here is track number 3. Now, if you were a child of the 70s, you would immediately know what that song was from its first few seconds. That was, of course, Ben by Michael Jackson from the film Ben from 1972, which itself was a sequel of the movie Willard, which was hugely popular from 71. And Ben is a song that has a couple of meanings for me. It was a movie I liked a lot growing up. It was, the tender story of a boy and his rat. I'm sure we can all relate to that. And, I remember discovering this movie. I think I saw that. I might have seen the sequel before the original. Now I'm thinking about it. It was a Prism tape, where it was on cable at my aunt's house. I can't remember now clearly. I remember for sure Willard I saw on Prism VHS, and Ben, I just kind of fell in love with this movie, and the kid was played by Lee Montgomery, who I think at the time when I discovered this film was already in Girls Just Want to Have Fun and The Midnight Hour, two movies I liked a lot from 1985, and I think I covered one of them on a previous podcast, the Holiday Horror Podcast. I had picked The Midnight Hour because I absolutely love that TV movie. It evokes great 80s nostalgia for me. And Ben, the sequel to Willard, right along there with those movies, renting them and watching them on cable, it just kind of like was a staple for me of my youth, watching these movies, discovering them. And the song was hugely popular at the time. The song is actually much more popular than the movie is, honestly. Willard was a pretty big hit, and of course they ushered out a sequel really quickly. And I connect to both films, but Ben sticks out in my mind, and it's a shame these movies aren't available on DVD. I think there's a rights issue. I think Bing Crosby's estate owns the rights to these movies. He had produced them through his production company, and for some reason, I don't know if the rights are very expensive or not, but they're not available on DVD or Blu-ray, which is kind of sad. More people should see them. I love nature runs amok movies, and these fall into that category. But Ben is a kind of a pretty tender story. It's sad and sometimes funny, and the song, which is very sad, but captures the feeling I get from watching the film really well, and it captures the mood. And the other meaning for this film for me is actually named my son, who's almost 2, Ben. His name is Benicio, and we call him Ben for short. And we played the song a lot for him, especially when he was really young. And it was a song we would play all the time. And just every time I think of this song, I think of Ben. We love you, Ben. Both of you, Bens. Moving on to track number 4.
Hey
Rock Until You Drop from the Monster Squad soundtrack from 1987. Now, this song is dangerously 80s. I say dangerously because it's either you love it or you hate it. And you can fall into two camps. I kind of love it. It's like I said, it's very 80s. It reminds me of that time period so much. Michael Cimbello was kind of like the king of soundtracks back then. He did did Maniac for Flashdance. He did a song on Summer Lovers. Did a song from Cocoon. He did this one, and 1987 was a fun year for me. I saw this movie and it immediately clicked with it because it was a movie about 12-year-old boys, which I wasn't back then, and it was so much fun. And the song just perfectly captures what that's about, and the adventures of these kids, and just the fun of being young, and rocking till you drop. How can we not want to enjoy something like that? You can't take that away from us. It's our youth. So I had a few scotches, or just a big glass of scotch, and it's really delicious. So I might have to tell you guys that I am having fun, and I hope you are too. Let's move on to track number 5. Here we go.
Sort of night, the last thing that I want is sleep. It's a peaceful sort of night, the last thing that I want is peace. I throw caution to the wind, and it comes flying back at me. It's the calm before the storm, and something's gonna clobber me. Put your ear down to the ground. Can't you hear those stomping feet? And the swishing of those gowns, the laughing and the 4/4 beat. It takes a special kind of thrill to stand out in this day and age. Everybody looks so good and everyone is good in bed. The armies of the night are coming, they're coming. Life will be a dream for you and for me. The armies of the night are coming, they're coming. Life will be a scream for you and for me. I've got a Sam and Dave review laying in my heart tonight. I've got a pebble in my shoe, even that feels good tonight. All those Big Mac rappers dancing down the street dance better than I do. But you can't fight City Hall, no matter what you say or do. The armies of the night are coming, they're coming. Life will be a dream for you and for me. The armies of the night are coming, they're coming. Life will be a scream for you and for me. It's a sleepy sort of night. It's a peaceful sort of night. Peaceful sort of night. The armies of the night are coming, they're coming. Life will be a dream for you and for me. The armies of the
And that was Armies of the Night by Sparks from the Fright Night soundtrack from 1985. Fright Night's a movie that I absolutely adore, and I know a good deal of you out there are big fans of it as well. Because if you love horror movies, you have to love Fright Night. It's like I mentioned earlier, Friday the 13th Part 6 is kind of like a knowing horror movie. So is Fright Night. It's the more knowing of the horror movies from the 80s, but it plays a lot of it straight. It's horror, it's comedy, it's a great mix of the two, and the soundtrack, which is pretty amazing and has some good tracks on it, like other bands like the Jay Giles Band, and I think White Sister, who you might have known from Killer Party soundtrack, has a track on there, and Devo and Autograph and a few others. It also has a great score by Brad Fiedel, who I'm a big fan of. I've always loved his stuff, especially his kind of a minimalist score for the movie Just Before Dawn, kind of a lesser known slasher movie. And Fright Night is just a wonderful movie in so many ways, and I picked the Sparks song because I've always been a big fan of Sparks. They also had some songs and soundtracks from the 80s like Valley Girl and a few others, and I love Sparks, and I just don't feel like they've gotten their due in terms of proper love. And this song, which they recorded for this movie and then released on their album from 1986, the Music That You Could Dance To album, which is a great album, and I highly recommend you just checking it out, because it is music that you could dance to. It's perfectly titled, and it has all that energy and vibe that I definitely love, and so does the movie. It's huge staple of our youth, for those of us into horror films, and hope you enjoyed it. And we're moving on to track number 6.
Could it be that the lady is me in the photograph? I'm afraid, 'cause it feels too good, and I want it too bad. It's just not true. Couldn't ask for any more than you, because you look at me as though I'm beautiful. Could it be that you want me? I never dreamed someone like you could want someone like me. I'm not sure, but the more that it's real, the more it's right. Ooh, what a night. It's as though we've been lovers all of our lives. There must be a God. Could it be that He's heard me at last? Because you look at me as though I'm beautiful. Could it be the lady's me? I never dreamed someone like you could want someone like me. All the pain and the pleasure's the same. It goes so fast. I'm the girl with the strawberry hair in the photograph. So come on, let's dance. Let me have it while I have the chance. 'Cause there's another world
That was I Never Dreamed Someone Like You Could Love Someone Like Me from the Carrie soundtrack by Katie Irving. And Carrie soundtrack was from 76. And gosh, this movie evokes such feeling, such emotion in me, as does a song, which works so well in the film. It's during the Carrie's dance with Tommy at the prom, their first dance together. And the song plays, and it's just so perfect, so absolutely perfect in the film and on the soundtrack. It's Carrie's theme in a way. It's, she does not feel like she's worthy of these people, and she gets Tommy at the prom, and though he has his motivations are different than what she might suspect, and it's just so heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. It's just like the movie is. It's a beautiful movie and so sad, but then the movie becomes so visceral in the scene. So it makes for a great contrast. Carrie's plight is something we can all relate to, and I know I extremely related to Carrie in the film, and the song perfectly captures that. And there's another track from this movie that I absolutely love as well, and I'll probably include it on another volume. So I also can't neglect to mention Pino Donaggio's score from Carrie, which just works so beautifully. He uses some of the bits from this song. He composed the song, Katie Irving sung it, but he uses the music throughout parts of the film as well. So it's one of my absolute favorite soundtracks of all time. Love you, Carrie. Love you, Pino. Next up is track number 7.
Speaking softly to the night, the dream unfolds like faded photographs. In the pictures of the past, your story's told. And do you see the country girl who ran with me through the pouring rain? Do you often wish that we could have those simple days back again? Jennifer, Jennifer, the mystery of you remains. Jennifer.
was Jennifer from the 1978 film, kind of like the theme song. And I included it because obviously Jennifer was a movie that was supposed to cash in on the huge success of Carrie and popularity. And it's about a girl with powers, and she's like a redhead. And in this one, she kind of uses animals to do her bidding. And I am a big fan of Jennifer. I think it's a highly underrated movie. It was, clearly a ripoff made by Samuel Arkoff on the cheap. But it has so much heart to this movie. And, the theme song kind of strikes a chord with me, like the track from Carrie. It kind of hits you in a certain spot, a tender spot. And I'm a big fan, and Jennifer, like Carrie's plight, she's picked on by these bullies at school, and the girl in this movie, the bitch in Jennifer is such a bitch. She's kind of a marvel to watch, actually. And the actress who plays Jennifer, Lisa Pelican, she does a great job, and Bert Convey's in it, and he's great in it. I love him in that. I can't recommend the movie enough, and seeking out the film, which I think is only available on VHS, wasn't released on DVD yet, which makes me sad. I wish it was. And obviously the track that I used was culled from the VHS tape because it's just something that wasn't released on any kind of actual soundtrack. So clearly this is an underdog movie like Jennifer. And hopefully it will get more love. It needs it. Let's go on to track number 8. And that was the Fibonacci's with TerraVision, the theme song from the film from 1986. Now, the song kind of just makes me have a big smile. It's such a silly song, it's such a silly movie, and it perfectly is what it is. Creature feature from 1986, and you get this art punk band. It was kind of playing the scene, the LA scene around the time, and I think they were kind of opening acts for bands like Oingo Boingo and Wall of Voodoo, great bands, and they kind of just did the song and a few other songs for the soundtrack, and it's just so catchy, it just kind of sticks in your head, and a lot of you people out there who remember the film will remember the song, the theme song, and I love a good theme song. I'm just a huge sucker for a theme song, and TerraVision definitely sticks out in my mind as one of the more fun theme songs from a low-budget 80s horror movie. And I'm glad you're a fan because you've stuck with us so far. Here we go to number 9.
For simple feeling, I thought I knew you, but I didn't know you at all. Trapped inside your world of worry, you miss so much when you always hurry. Well, slow down, baby, you'll only get hurt if you fall. Well, you told me one time that you'd be somebody, that you weren't working just to survive. But you're working so hard that you don't even know you're alive. Working so hard to be somebody special, not working just to survive. Well, you're special to me, babe, and what I don't see, babe, is where you go once you arrive. Where we go once we arrive. Damn all evil that takes possession until your pipe dreams become obsessions. They scare me, baby, and we should have nothing to fear. I'm no child, but I can't help wonder. It seems like some kind of spell you're under. You're listening, baby, but somehow you don't really hear. Well, you told me one time that you'd be somebody, that you weren't working just to survive. But you're working so hard that you don't even know you're alive. Working so hard to be somebody special, not working just to survive. Well, you're special to me, baby, what I don't see, baby, where we go once we arrive. Where you go once you arrive.
And there was Jessica Harper with Special to Me from Phantom of the Paradise soundtrack from 1974. Huge fan of Phantom of the Paradise, the Brian De Palma film. Hey, the second Brian De Palma film to make the list. He's a master, what could I say? I love this film, and I especially love Jessica Harper in this film. She first caught my attention with this one. She later went on to make movies like My Favorite Year and Shock Treatment, and a little movie called Suspiria. And she's always been a favorite of mine. I definitely had a crush on her when I was younger. And I think the scene in the movie, the song plays when she's doing her audition for Swan. And just such a great moment where she just gets really into the music. She sings her heart out. And just the way she dances and even looks at the camera at some point. It's just a great moment from an actress I really like. And And Phantom of the Paradise, what can I say? That's a rock musical like no other, and produced some great songs. And this track, as well as another track by Jessica Harper, are kind of standouts for me. I just absolutely love them in the film, and she delivers a great performance for the ages. Love her in this movie. Can't say it enough. Love that it's kind of like a almost country song in a way. Song I wouldn't normally like, but she does such a great job with it. Gotta love her and the movie. And let's go on to our track number 10.
All of times have come here, but now they're gone. Seasons don't feel the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't feel the reaper. Baby, take my hand, don't feel the reaper. We'll be able to fly, don't feel the reaper. Baby, I'm your man. La 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 la. La 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 la. Valentine is done here, but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. Romeo and 40,000 men and women every day. 40,000 men and women every day. Another 40,000 coming every day. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand, don't fear the reaper. We'll be able to fly, don't fear the reaper. Baby, I'm your man. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Now that one doesn't need any explanation, does it? Obviously, Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult's epic song from an epic horror movie. My favorite horror movie, actually, of all time. Halloween. John Carpenter's Halloween, of course, from 1978. Now, obviously, this song was a hit before Halloween. It was used in the film during the sequence where the girls are in the car and driving around smoking pot, and now it plays in the car because it's a song that would have played on the radio. It was a popular song at the time, so it fits so perfectly in the film, and especially thematically. Don't Fear the Reaper. It's this kind of utter song soundtrack perfection. It just amazes me that after all these years, how effective this song is. It's actually a big favorite of mine and my wife's. We listen to this song a lot. It's one of our songs, and it's kind of romantic in a way. It's a romantic song about death. But there is a positive message to it all. And Blue Oyster Cult is the kind of band that they have their fans, and you're into their music or you're not. But there's no denying that the song is a perfect horror movie song and works so wonderfully in the film. Complete epic. Love it so much. And it's very fitting that our next track is this. Here it is, number 11.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him two lips like roses and clover. Then tell him that his lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him the word that I'm not a rover. Then tell him that his lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Bum 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 bum. Mr. Sandman,
Yes?
bring us a dream. Give him a pair of eyes with a come hither gleam. Give him a lonely heart like Pagliacci, and lots of wavy hair like Liberace. Mr. Sandman, someone to hold would be so peachy before we're too old. So please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring us, please, 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 Mr. Sandman, bring us a dream.
The beauty sometimes with the soundtrack is to take a pre-existing song and kind of put it into a whole new context. And gosh, Mr. Sandman by the Chordettes in Halloween 2 certainly does that. Can you ever think of the song from the 1950s in the same way ever again than the 1981 film? My goodness, I have to associate the Halloween movies with Mr. Sandman completely now, and I absolutely will never look back. It's used so beautifully in the film, and gosh, how much more can you say? It's kind of perfect. It's the perfect song for a really good slasher sequel. And I think Halloween 2 has finally gotten its due after all these years. It's now been in various VHS formats and DVD formats. It's played on cable endlessly, and now it's on Blu-ray, and a lovingly restored Blu-ray by Scream Factory with some great extras. And I am a big fan of Halloween 2, as I've always been throughout the years. And, you know, like the first film, they are a good part of my childhood. And Mr. Sandman is a song that's it's snuck its way in, and you know, it was definitely a song that was from John Carpenter's childhood, and now it's a song that was from my childhood, and it will affect future generations. So it's funny how a song can live on through the years, through the horror soundtrack or any soundtrack, but especially used so well in this film. So beautiful. Love it. So we're about like halfway through the playlist, and I just kind of wanted to take this time to just give a few shout outs to you, some of you guys out there who've been following the show. And if I don't mention your name, I will totally mention your name on future podcasts. Just an oversight. You can either email me, meep@cinemademeep.com. You can message me on Facebook, Retro Movie Love Podcast. That's its own page. I'm over at the Cinema de Meep page on Facebook, so it's really easy to reach out, and I will totally give you a shout out. So please forgive me if I don't mention your name. Jeffrey Berg and Jorg Bauer. Of course, I gotta mention McCready Mike and Scott Pliskin, and Quentin Dunn, Steve Chubbo, Sean Kelly, Simon Barber, Lance Vaughn, and Gina Brower, and Seamus Fisher, Wendy Montez, Mystique, James Raftery, Eric Gaudette, David Person, and the Mom and Pop Video Store page. And, you know, if I didn't mention your name, please let me know. I love all of you guys out there, and I'm so thankful that you guys have been following the show. It makes me so happy. It warms my bloody heart. So keep on listening and keep having fun, and any recommendations, feel free to pass them my way. So let's go on to track number 12.
Seemed like a real thing, long to go.
Yeah, that was Blondie's Heart of Glass from Just Before Dawn from 1981. Now, I mentioned Just Before Dawn earlier when we were talking about Fright Night and Brad Fiddel's score for that film. He has also scored this film. And why I picked this song in particular is because, one, I love Blondie, a huge fan of Blondie. And two, it's just that it comes a complete surprise in the film. It's like early on in the film, and the group of campers are going up in the mountain and to some of their eventual demise. And they played the song in the van, and it's like a song that would have been playing in a van in the late 70s, early 80s. A bunch of young people wanting to have fun, and it's such a fun song. It's amazing. This came off of their third studio album, Parallel Lines, which is a amazing, gorgeous album, much like Blondie, Debbie Harry herself. I liked a lot of their early music, and even some of their albums in the 80s. I think they had some good songs. And Blondie herself, Debbie Harry, has gone on to become an actress, and she appeared in some horror films. So it's kind of cool, a little horror connection there. Just Before Dawn itself is, like I think I mentioned earlier, is a pretty underrated movie. I think it's got a wider audience now than it ever has had before. Kind of came and went when it was released in 1981, which is a shame because it stands above a lot of the films that were released at the time. 1981 was a great year for horror films, as some of you horror fans out there might know already, and I think Just Before Dawn is definitely up there, if not one of the absolute best of the genre. It just evokes such great atmosphere, and the music in the movie kind of punctuates some of that. And I think Blondie's track here is just used for fun, used to emphasize the characters and their youth and their playfulness. So I think it's kind of awesome, and I think, a slasher movie with a Blondie song, how could I not pick it? All right, here's track number 13.
Melissa, such a lovely girl, Melissa, locked inside a world, Melissa, the darker side of you.
And that was Melissa's theme from Sweet 16, the slasher flick from 1983. Though I believe it was filmed a bit earlier than that. I want to say around 1980, 1981. It definitely has that feel. And I'm not sure how you guys feel about Sweet 16. It's probably not the most popular film on this list, not the best film on this list for sure. But it has Dana Camille in it, and I'm a huge Dana Camille fan. And I don't know if that's the most popular opinion. But I do love her, and she does put in an interesting performance in Sweet 16 as Melissa, and she gets her own theme song. Like I mentioned before, and I'm just a sucker for a girl who has a theme song in a movie, and this plays at the end of credits, and it just, I don't know, just kind of, it's a ballad, it's kind of sappy and sad and cheesy all at once. But it totally works for me. It does what it does, and it's unexpected in a way. So that's kind of why I'm into it. And I probably listen to the song a lot more than I watched the film, which is interesting. I listen to a lot of these songs a lot, but usually the film is kind of what attracts me to the song. But I'm definitely more into this song for some reason. And Dana Kamel, who I defended to my death in Friday the 13th Part 3 podcast I did for the Hysteria Continues last year. I had a feeling that the other podcasters weren't into her as much, but I was the lone voice of love, though I think they kind of came around to her a little bit during the podcast, or maybe they were just kind of humoring me. But I also love Dana Kamel from a 1981 film called Rivals. I mentioned on that podcast as well. One of my favorite films about a young farm boy who goes to the big bad city and gets into some trouble with the guy with the van, and Dana Kamel plays the girlfriend. And she was also in other movies like Midnight Offerings, and she kind of like hit a certain period of the early 80s, early 80s cinema that I like. So had to include Sweet 16's Melissa's theme. Here is our track number 14.
I've always dreamed of doing this, and now I've got my chance. So excuse me while I indulge myself in a little song and dance. Well, if you're looking for trouble, here I am. And if you wanna see double, here I am. I don't do what the good girls do. Bad dreams really do come true. Here I am. Bitching back, so you better stand back. And my emotions, sickness or a heart attack. I can really wake up with a swelling in your pocket, make your eyeballs drop. But I'm just talking, I'm rough, I'm tough, I'm woman enough. So get ready, I'm gonna do my stuff. I can take it, I can check it, I can cook it, I can bake it. If I don't have the recipe, I'll take it. I'm a volcano that's ready to blow. Look out, y'all, 'cause here I go.
Now just picture Elvira flipping her boobs around with these tassels attached to her nipples. and you'll get the perfect image of where that song goes towards the end as the vocals cut out. Such an amazing movie, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark from 1988, and that was obviously Cassandra Peterson as Elvira doing her song, her big number that she does in Vegas, or she aspires for this great career in Las Vegas, and she gets it at the end. And the song is so fun. It's so utterly 80s, like this rapping. There's everything you can want in a silly 80s song from a horror movie. And Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, is one of my favorites of that era. So such a perfect movie, such a perfect horror comedy. Clearly a great vehicle for Elvira. I was disappointed that I had to wait so long for a sequel to this movie. It came along in like the somewhere in the aughts, like 2002, 3. But 1988, I was totally in love with Elvira, as many of us were. And she was hugely popular, and for good reasons, especially a couple of good reasons. I had to fit that in there somewhere. Ooh. Sometimes you just need junk food, and this is the perfect junk food song. So much fun. Love it to death. I want to marry it and make babies with it. All right, let's move on to track number 15.
Listen to me, baby, you gotta understand. You're old enough to know the makings of a man. Listen to me, baby, it's hard to settle down. Am I asking too much for you to stick around? Every boy wants a girl he can trust to the very end. Baby, that's you, won't you wait? But till then, when I say let's make a two big kiss, nature's taken over my one-track mind. Believe it or not, you're in my heart all the time. All the girls are saying that you'll end up a fool. For the time being, baby, live by my rules. When I settle down, I want one baby on my mind. Forgive and forget, and I'll make up for all lost time. If she's put together fine, if she's in my mind, stop, I can't stop, stop, I can't stop, stop, lightning striking again, lightning striking in the pines, waiting for us around the bend. Picture in your mind, love forever. But till then, if she gives me a sign that she wants to make time, stop, I can't stop, stop, I can't stop, stop, lightning striking again, lightning striking
And that was Lou Christie's Lightning Strikes from the Strange Behavior soundtrack from 1981. Now, as a big aside, I was thinking that I kind of would love to have my ashes scattered all over New York City. I know it's a completely random thought, but maybe that's some of the Scotch talking. But I was doing some research for the song, slight research, and the weird underground artist Klaus Nomi, weird German guy, kind of the Warhol scene. And he did a cover song of this for his debut album, and it was pretty weird and out there. But I mentioned the ashes thing because that's what he did with his ashes. He was one of the first celebrities to die of AIDS in 1983, and he chose to have his ashes scattered all over New York City. Now that's a big deal for someone who's like from Germany, and he decides that's where he wants to have his final resting place in his ashes. And I'm a native New Yorker. I've lived here all my life. I know I'm planning to move away from it soon for the first time in my life, which is a big deal for me. But I was like, would I want to have my ashes scattered all over New York City? So I'm sorry to go this weird tangent about death, but we are talking about horror movies after all. And this song is such a fun pop song. It came from the 60s, and it's very 60s. And it kind of almost has like that Phil Spector kind of wall of sound almost, that very produced kind of sound, which is kind of cool. And those bands of that era. And it fits in this movie in a really strange way. It really shouldn't belong in a horror movie, really. But it comes from the Strange Behavior movie, which is this horror movie from, I think Bill Condon wrote it. It was shot in Australia, but with American actors mostly, or the leads were American at least. But a lot of the secondary characters and background actors were Australian or New Zealand. I can't remember what. Sorry, might be offending some of the Aussies or Kiwis out there. I'm not sure exactly where it was filmed. That's how great I do with my research here, obviously. I get fixated on certain things like Klaus Nomi, but I forget where a movie actually is filmed. But it has this really weird vibe. It has a Tangerine Dream soundtrack. It's a really bizarre movie. It's kind of like science fiction meets slasher movie. And I don't know, I've always been a fan of this movie. And the song comes from this weird dance scene in this movie that comes out of nowhere. It's like a Halloween almost dance scene. I think it's Halloween. And the characters are in costume, and then suddenly the song strikes up, and the characters start dancing to it, but it's like a really choreographed dance scene, so it's completely random, and it always struck with me, pardon the pun, and so I had to choose it. It's still in my head, and now it's out there in the universe. Maybe we should move on to track number 16. Here we go.
Josh! Hey, Josh! Son of a bitch.
Why would Josh do such a thing?
I can't figure it out.
It's weird.
It gets even weirder.
What do you mean?
I saw Hank Andrews there with some women, and they were having a seance.
A seance? Well, who are the women?
Oh, nobody I know. Josh saw him at the mortuary doing the same thing, and that's why he got fired.
Well, you don't think that Josh taking off like that had anything to do with the seance, do you?
Why would it?
I don't know. Where do you want to go?
Let's go to the roller rink. Maybe he's there.
Ask
drove my van here and he's got the keys.
Then he must be here somewhere.
Yeah, well, if we'd been here a while, if he was here, I'd have seen him.
Wait a minute, I thought you were with Josh.
Well, I was.
Well, what happened? You know, you look like shit.
It's a long story.
You guys gonna stick around or what?
Oh, no, I think I gotta work on my side paper.
Yeah, in the back seat.
Get out of here.
Tell Josh to call me when he shows up.
Yes, okay. All right.
See you later.
Hey, Greg?
What?
Why don't you check the lady's head?
Please don't ignore. I love you more. What a shame that you can't be my love. Be my love. Be my love. Be my love.
He's gone.
Now where did he go?
Be My Love from Mortuary from 1983, like Sweet 16's another song that's from a movie that was kind of made from the early 80s, like 1981, I think. I'm kind of sat on a shelf for a little bit. And weird movies that are not super popular and kind of didn't have proper soundtracks, and I don't know, just attracted to these weird movies. And Mortuary, I really dig this one. And the song comes from a scene where they're in the roller disco, as you would be in the early 80s or late 70s. And the song kind of plays up while the characters are roller boogieing, if you will. And I don't know, just kind of stuck with me. I'm like, oh, you know, this movie about the slasher killing people and this cult and all these crazy elements and Bill Paxton being weird, and there's this roller disco scene and Be My Love, and it just kind of always stuck with me, so I had to include it. And I hope you guys are fans of Mortuary. There's a DVD out there from the film, I believe by Scorpion releasing, and it's really great. It looks really good. It's the best the film has ever looked, and I am a big fan. Weird movies sometimes are some of the better ones. They stick with you. And Be My Love always sticks with me. Here's track number 17.
Wheels turning, some of the leaves are turning brown, coming to gather you, gathering cherries off of the ground. And after the rainbow, after the day glows come over you, a bottle of wine and then a waterfall gonna lead you to the dream you knew you'd do.
So I kind of have weird taste in music, as you probably figured it out by now. Sometimes I just really like folk songs. I like singers like Joan Mitchell and likes. And this song comes from the Last House on the Left soundtrack, as some of you horror fans out there probably know already. And it's kind of the very controversial of the time exploitation classic. Now that's like 40 years old. Wow. It's David Hess, the main villain of the piece, sings the song, and he does his soundtrack, and he does such a beautiful job. Like, part of the movie is like a reaction to what the times and Vietnam era and the hippie movement and just the colliding of all these ideas and philosophies and the horror that was coming out from the Vietnam and it's such a powerful movie in many ways for me. I always really liked it. It's something I watched when I was really young, and it just really affected me. And it wasn't so much that it scared me as that it just kind of shook something within me. Like, wow, like, life is really precious and valuable, and it can be snuffed out and pretty easily by a select few crazy people out there. And I grew up in New York, and the late 70s and early 80s when it was pretty rough, and it was kind of scary, and life was kind of scary back then in the 80s for a lot of us who grew up. And we watched these movies, and they kind of, we bonded with horror movies for whatever reason, and this movie just kind of struck something within me and kind of shook me to my foundation, a lot like other movies of the time. And it becomes kind of like a revenge kind of exploitation film. And Wes Craven obviously went on to bigger and better things, maybe. But I think it's a great film, and the soundtrack kind of perfectly captures a time period that seems so long ago, and was so long ago, but seems still potent in my mind. It still works for me. And Last House on the Left, great film and great soundtrack. I had to include it, and I have to say that I felt really, really bummed out that when David Hess passed away, I believe a couple years ago, he just seemed so he just was such a cool icon from that time period of playing villains mostly. But he had beautiful music in him, and the song and the soundtrack clearly illustrates that. So this is dedicated to you, David. We love you. Moving on to track number 18. And that was Gene Loves Jezebel with Heartache from the Demons 2 soundtrack from 1986. Now, I could have picked one of many songs from the Demons 2 soundtrack. Just so many great artists on there, like The Cult and Love and Rockets and The Smiths and Art of Noise and Dead Can Dance. Just goes on and on. But I picked Heartache because it's just one of those songs that's kind of connected to. It's also one of those songs that has like these lyrics that you kind of always misidentify. They're just kind of hard to completely understand if you just kind of have to like listen really closely to them. I don't know, just a fan. I like new wave music. Something that we didn't have, strange New York radio wasn't that great, and I kind of learned to love new wave music from movies, strangely, and Demons 2 kind of introduced me to that, to a lot of them, a lot of these bands, and I'm very grateful of that, and very grateful that I could enjoy these songs. They mean a lot to me. And thank you, Demons 2, and thank you, Lamberto Bava, for making such a fun movies, Demons 1 and 2, and Dario Argento for producing them. Forever grateful. And, horror movies shaped some of my music taste, a good part of it, so I'm happy for that. And let's go on to track number 19.
Christy, don't ever listen to the words they say. You wouldn't have to change your ways. Talking to my Christy. Bad times, you felt so helpless, they were so unkind. Now I know that you are mine. Talking to my Christy. Magic, just the way you look at me, but you don't see shadows closing in on love's memories. Sunset, just as the sun goes down, the moon is met. You only have to turn your head. Talking to my Christy. Just the way you look at me, but you don't see shadows closing in on love's memories. Sunset, just as the sun goes down, the moon is met. You only have to turn your head. Talking to my Christy.
So yes, yet another ballad on this playlist, but this one comes from Scream for Help. This is Christy by let's say John Paul Jones and John Anderson and Jimmy Page all kind of contributed to the soundtrack, so let's credit all three of them. Pretty amazing, right? Two of the members from Led Zeppelin, and you have John Anderson from Yes, and they do this kind of ballad from a horror thriller movie about a teenage girl who's kind of like a Nancy Drew character, and she kind of suspects that her stepfather is trying to kill her mom and her. It's a crazy movie directed by Michael Winner. I'm obsessed with this movie. It's such a weird movie. Michael Winner made these weird ass movies in the 80s, like including the Death Wish films, like Death Wish 3 especially. They're just kind of completely bizarre. And Scream for Help is like this teen kind of someone on our Facebook page mentioned that it was kind of like an after school special, like a totally bizarre, crazy after school special, which is a perfect way to describe this movie. There's death, there's mayhem, there's sex, it's like all these crazy things, all in this crazy package of a teen girl and who has a nose for sleuthing. Pretty amazing movie, and the song Christy, which is about the main character, is perfect. A perfect theme song for a character, and it's like a slow kind of another sappy song, but it just moves me. For some reason, it's perfect. And Scream for Help is a movie it's 20 years old now, 30 years old, sorry, wow. And it's strange that it's not available on DVD. It makes me completely sad. Michael Winner movies, all of Michael Winner's catalog should be on DVD. He passed away within the last couple of years, and he was a great director. Made some great prestigious films and made some movies that are maybe not so great, but I loved them all in a way. You know, he had a interesting point of view, and Scream for Help is one of those movies that are completely out there, and that's why I love it, and the song, and the fact that Led Zeppelin contributed to the soundtrack. Pretty amazing. So hope you enjoyed Christy by John Anderson, Jimmy Page, and John Paul Jones. Moving on to track number 20.
To mind. That was the way taken by surprise. You never thought to see that look was in his eyes. There's a man with no life in his eyes. There's a man with no life in his eyes.
So that was His Eyes from the Australian new wave band Pseudo Echo from the Friday the 13th Part 5 A New Beginning soundtrack from 1985. Yes, another Friday the 13th movie made the playlist today. I included this one because, I wasn't a huge Friday the 13th Part 5 fan growing up. Like a lot of people who were kind of who saw the movie when it first came out were just kind of really disappointed and bummed out that it wasn't really a Jason movie. And I know this is the second time I've mentioned that in this podcast. It's a big spoiler, by the way. It just bummed us out when we first saw it. And over time, your opinions change, and the way you look at movies kind of change. It's the nature of watching movies, and nostalgia plays a big part of how we look at movies, especially movies from like almost 30 years ago. And I have ups and downs with this movie. It's like on one hand, it's a terrible movie, which it truly is, but it's also kind of has these great elements, and the song sticks out in my mind because it's from that Violet breakdancing scene, her death scene. And it's just a great moment in the movie, and I just loved her character, loved that part of the film, and there's quite a few things about the movie that I like a lot. I'm not gonna slam the movie at all because I've definitely warmed up to it over the years, on and off, and Reggie the Reckless forever, and Violet. But yeah, the song, this Australian new wave song, I know nothing about Pseudo Echo, honestly. They were not big here, I don't think, and I kind of want to look into their catalog now because the song is so good. It just kind of stirs up something within me. It's like some of the better new wave music, I think. It just sticks with you. So and some of the best music does that, and I kind of want to hang out with the band and maybe Violet and hopefully not get killed while we just hang out together. She was one of those characters in that movie that I thought should have lived longer, or maybe even been the final girl. But you can't get what you want sometimes. So, wah. Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. I've made my peace with you. I will accept you for what you are. You are crazy. You're sometimes obnoxious, loud, with some characters I just want to strangle myself, much like fake Jason. But hey, you've got some great moments and some great characters in it too. So I love you, Pseudo Echo, for the song, and Let's move on to track number 21. And that was Do It To Me Once More from the House on the Edge of the Park soundtrack from 1980. And that film was composed by Riz Ortolani, and I believe he credited Charlie Patton Rosie as the singers on that track. So whoever you are, Charlie Patton Rosie, great job. And Riz Ortolani, who passed away sadly recently, what a great song this is. Clearly a track for the disco era. And it totally gets me in the mood. It plays during a pivotal dance scene in the movie. And I just absolutely love it, dig its vibe, and dig the chorus of the song. And it really puts me in a certain mood. And I have to give a big shout out to my pal Amanda Reyes, who reminded me that this song is totally awesome and belongs in this playlist. So thank you so much, Amanda. We actually had reviewed this movie, did a joint review of it together. So if you want to read that online, we did that a few years ago. You could do a search for House on the Edge of the Park and Cinema de Meep, and you'll find a joint review for me and Amanda, whose wonderful blog, Made for TV Mayhem, is a must-read. Especially for you guys out there who love horror films and love TV movies, or just love good reading. And Amanda does a great job. She's like the premier expert on made-for-TV terror, and absolutely love her stuff. And she's a great person, and we've been longtime friends. So definitely check that out if you want to read the review of the film. And I really suggest you to listen to the song again and start dancing. Why don't you find a girl who's bald and really likes to get down and say hot diggity and start dancing? I think I just might do that. First, I'm going to drink some scotch. Here we go. I just drank some scotch. Some good scotch here, and it's been helping me. As I like to drink scotch sometimes at night to take the edge off, and it's really delicious, and I really want to go disco dancing. Is it 1980 or is it? I hope it is. Let's just say it is. Let's go dancing. David Hess again, another film with David Hess, and I actually really am a big fan of this movie. So I'm glad we got a chance to include it on the playlist. Good film. Let's boogie on to track 22.
want you to love me and just touch me. Or put your hands on me. 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 Put 'em 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 on me.
And that was I Want Your Hands on Me by Sinead O'Connor from the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, the Dream Master soundtrack. Now, the song actually technically wasn't on the soundtrack. It was in the film and used very well in the film. It was during the sequence when Debbie, the character played by Brooke Thies, who has big hair, and she's working out, and the song cues up, and the song is clearly a really good song. Actually, I think it's even if it were in the film, I think it's a song I would have enjoyed. But the Nightmare on Elm Street 4 soundtrack is actually one of the better film soundtracks from horror movies. It's surprisingly good, and considering that it's like the number 4 in a film series, usually the law of diminishing returns would state that the soundtrack shouldn't be good, the film shouldn't be good. But actually, you know what? I'm gonna go out and say it. It's like my favorite of the sequels from the Nightmare on Elm Street films, and a lot of that has to do with it came out in 1988. I was 13, and I really did Freddy by then, and really connected with me. And I'm a big fan of the film, and I don't want to say too much, but it will be a movie that we will be covering on a future podcast. I'll leave it at that. But I picked this song because it wasn't officially on the soundtrack, and I think it needs some love. I think it needs someone to say, hey, Sinead O'Connor, even though she's done some pretty wacky things, she made a great song in a horror movie. It was a song that was on her debut album, and it's used really well in the film, so I had to include it. So here we go with track number 23.
Under the October with the steamboats, ancient goblins and wallows come at the grand light making a sound. The smell of death is all around, and at night when the cold wind blows, no one cares, nobody knows. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. Fall addicted to the sacred place. This ain't a dream, I can't escape. Molars and fangs that are picking up bones. Spirits morning among the tombstones. And at night when the moon is bright, someone cries something ain't right. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. The moon is full, the air is still. All of a sudden I feel a chill. Victor is grinning, flesh is riding away. Skeleton dance, I curse these days. And at night when the wolves cry out, listen close and you can hear me shout. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. Oh no. Oh no. I don't want to live my life again. Oh no. Oh. I don't want to live my life again. Oh no, no, no. Don't want to live my life again.
I'm kind of of the belief that the Ramones should have done a song from every film for the soundtrack. And, you know, Pet Sematary, 1989 film, this song played at the end of the credits, and it just does a great job and just kind of evoking what the movie was about, and just kind of leaves you on that note of sadness, but also, you know, the Ramones style was kind of very upbeat. They made these fast songs, fast rock and roll songs, but you know, they kind of take it down a little bit of a notch with the song, appropriately so for what the theme of the films are. But you know, I just love the Ramones, and you know, I just wish that you know, every day could be a Ramones song in a way, and just fast and fun. And, you know, the Pet Sematary was a movie that just, you know, Stephen King, there was so many adaptations of Stephen King by the late 80s, but Pet Sematary came around in 1989, and just kind of like, wow, this is a pretty cool movie. It does a job of what you would expect from a Stephen King story, and I think I remember reading the book and enjoying the book and enjoying the movie just the same. I think they did it. Mary Lambert, who may have directed the music video, she was a music video director. She directed the film, and she did a good job at capturing the tone and some of the things about the book that I liked a lot. And so, you know, I had to include it. Ramones should be in every playlist, regardless of what it is. And glad they did Pet Sematary. Let's move on to track number 24.
Imagine something deep inside that fear and logic cannot hide. The memory never leaves your mind. Your greatest enemy is time. It's been buried for so long. Seasons pass, but time stands still. Rivers flow and always will. Nights are long and days endured. The pain inside must have a cure. And the reason for the call is the hardest part of all. The special night has set the stage to release the hateful rage. Never was a turning back. Now it's time to fade to black. You can rest your mind at last. You resolve the horror's mask. You set your course and now you won, and it cannot be undone. Curtains close, the lights are done. Never was a turning back. Now it's time to face you.
And that was Fade to Black from the Prom Night soundtrack from 1980. So yes, I had to include another track from Prom Night, a movie that I clearly have a great affinity for, a soundtrack that I absolutely love. And what better way to wrap up a podcast than with Fade to Black? A song from the end of the film, and just kind of fills me with such emotion as it cues up in the film. Close the ending of the film, it is emotional, and there's more emotion in it than the usual slasher film when the hero or the heroine conquers the villain, or the villain conquers whoever. But this one has kind of a great sadness to the end of the film, and I think Prom Night, that's what separates Prom Night from a lot of the other films for me. It kind of moves me at the end, and the song greatly contributes to that. I think the soundtrack is perfection for me, and ending it on this note is exactly the way I would love it to go out. So thank you, Prom Night. Thank you for giving me so much, and thank you guys out there for listening to the show. The previous podcast did very well, and I want to thank you guys for listening and sharing the love for these songs from these movies. And I hope you guys love horror soundtracks, and they mean a lot to me. And I'm going to do a volume 2 to horror soundtracks, and we're going to do another volume for just general films. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I have ideas for different kinds of playlists. So I just want to thank you again for following the podcast and showing this pure love for film and for music from film. It makes me so happy to know that other people out there who grew up in film and grew up in, whether you're coming to it from a later age or from a younger age, it doesn't matter. Just as long as you have this great love for film and for music, and it means a lot to me. Thank you again. And I'm going to throw this little bonus track in, and some of you guys out there who might be a fan of British TV might recognize where it's from. But I had to throw it in there. I thought it was highly appropriate for the show today. Thank you again, and hope to see you on episode 6. Take care. Love you guys.
Hate mail. What are we going to do? Only pop music can save us now! That's you?
You mean it? Stay right where you are. I've got a crucifix and I'm not afraid to use it.
Yeah, take it easy, fam. You're messing with the big boys now.
No, this is some kind of terrible misunderstanding. I'm not a vampire. I'm a driving instructor from Johannesburg.
Johannesburg? Prove it!
How?
Okay, what should you never do in a box junction?
Unpleasant dreams.